I'm going to admit everyone now. And please go ahead. Thank you, Anna and Luchana.
Mhm.
Hello, everyone. Good morning or good evening. Lovely to be with you here. This is Nothing Media. I'm Luchana, and we have a very lovely special guest today. This is Anna Brown. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Please excuse my stuffiness. It is a pleasure to be here, though. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you have a lovely background.
Thank you. Thank
like
you.
you mentioned, like you mentioned just before we go live, that we actually just we can sit and listen to these beautiful sounds around you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because like we were saying, it's all equal. Whether we're listening to the birds, my chickens, the cars going by, or this voice, it's all from the same source, which is absolutely nothing. It can actually not be spoken about. So it's funny that we're here speaking about that which actually cannot be put into words. It's amazing. But something here can hear this. It just cannot be heard with human ears, you could say. It could only be heard with the ears of the heart, which I point to as intuition. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about non-duality, which is just this. It's what's arising.
What is non-duality?
What is it really? What is that, right? It means not two. So really, in short, it's this. This is wholeness. This is oneness, which I rather say noneness. It's noneness appearing as a oneness. It's a singularity. So this is the faceless appearing as a face, formlessness appearing as form, infinity appearing as the finite. This isn't a special message. It seems very special when we feel separate, but it's very ordinary. But the ordinary is extraordinary. So what we're pointing to is that this is completely unknowable. But as long as we think we're just a human body walking to the tombstone, that's the experience we seem to have, because within the dream, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning whatever you harbor as a belief seems to be shown to you, whether that's positive or negative. See, but really, this cannot be known through mental cognition. It can only be intuitively recognized, which is not mental. It's not from knowledge. So wisdom is not learned. Wisdom is what is. So it has nothing to do with age, studying, meditation, gurus, or what you've read or seen or done. It has nothing to do with that. It's always this. It's always here. It's always available, just not for someone. Okay? But today we can talk about this energy of seeking that seems to arise when we feel separate, which is a dream, and how it seems to compel us to look for something that's actually not missing. So the message here is nothing is missing, but the dream is, no, something's totally missing, Anna, and I'm going to go find it. And that's perfect too. That's harmony as well. So there's no one here trying to change your experience or telling you you're doing something wrong or that you're broken. Actually, it's the opposite. There's no one here who's broken. There's only perfect harmony arising, only perfection, only boundless life force or light or whatever you want to label that. That is this. That is this. It just will never set well through mental cognition, nor will the mind ever understand this. But your heart already knows everything I will say today. It does. And that's what resonates or gets a tickle or a, ooh. It's that which is not listening through time, through mind. Yeah? But feel free to ask any questions. Nothing's off limits. But you could say we will reel back to this, because the mind is always going to want to play in the past. How do I get into the present? And tell me about the future, Anna. That's where it lives. That's only where identity can seemingly live, or the illusion of separation. It doesn't want to be here. It doesn't actually want to hear this message, because how it seems to live is through seeking, through distractions, through practices, through trying to prepare for life. But life needs no preparation. It's spontaneous, it's wild, it's fucking free. This is freedom already, however it's appearing. So this message is inclusive, which includes pain, discomfort, illness, gratitude, ecstasy, bliss, babies, marriage, romance, sex, rock and roll, drugs. This message is including everything. We're not excluding anything here. So no need to renunciate, no need to let go, no need to do anything, in short, because there's no separate you who could do that anyways. So there's our little introduction, and there we go.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Before, I would like to ask all those who are watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, you can join us here in the Zoom room and ask or share something live with Anna. You can also type your questions or comments on the chat, and now I'm going to read them. And let me ask you something, just one quick question. Is there a value to this meeting? Is there something that is valuable, or?
Only the value the mind would place on this, but actually it has no value. It's not special. But someone can sit there and think, I'm gonna get something from this. This is really important, really, really special, you know, and then there'll be an experience of this being really valuable. And that's beautiful, sure, but there actually isn't any meaning or point or purpose to this.
Okay. We have a hand here raising. Yeah, go ahead. Ask and unmute yourself, Harsh.
Hi, Luchana. Hi, Anna.
Hello.
First of all, I want to thank you, Anna, because you are the first radical non-duality speaker who appear in my YouTube. And through you, I have come to know about this non-duality thing. Because my seeking was so bad from last 10 to 15 years, and I was desperately looking for enlightenment. Either I am ready to die, or I need this enlightenment thing. So one day you appearing and you are saying like that. But when you are saying that there is no one to attain, there is already no one, and only this is it. This is play of the light and all this. But there is something, na? Before this Anna, there are some Anna who are seeker, no? And there is something is happening with you, no? That everything is changed. So should I wait for that something, or there is no one who can wait, or I stuck somewhere. I think so.
I see. Yeah. Waiting, it's a paradox though, but the mind will think, okay, I'm going to wait for this event. I'm going to wait for this dissolvement. I'm going to wait to see through this. But that's still the mind rooted in time, thinking it's actually going to happen. It's a paradox. It's not actually a happening. There's already no ego to get rid of. There is no self to get rid of. There is nothing that needs to be removed. The stain we think we have is an illusion. So we can sit all day trying to pull out a splinter or waiting for it to fall out, but it's actually not there already. It's a ghost. And when that's heard, it's heard. It's heard. Yeah.
So, but this is you are talking with lots of confidence, and I can't take that much courage to talk like this. Like you, even I can understand it intellectually, but I can't have that courage like you people have, that there is no one, there is no body, there is no you in the body. So it seems you have something on behalf of you people are talking.
It can seem that way. It can seem like Anna earned confidence. Anna's not confident. There's something here that's naturally confident that illuminates Anna, you could say. But that there's no difference between you and I. It's also there, you could say. But the mind seems to shroud it over because we're taught confidence is something you work on and you build. Now, what we're speaking about here is an innate worthiness. It's an uncaused confidence. It naturally is. See, thinking we know what this is actually not being confident. It's insecure. So the more we know, the more insecure we become. This actually doesn't know. It doesn't know. And that opens up like a humility, an innocence, so to speak. And this is innocence speaking to innocence, you could say.
Because I think this is the last thing where I'm stuck now, and I don't think how I have tried to. I go to the forest near my house and sit there under the tree like you, and saying all the energy, please accept my surrender. But again, that
Mm.
mind is coming. How you will be surrender? There is something you who is going to surrender. So I'm stuck there. I can't understand how should I wait or should I listen this non-duality interviews again and again? I think I am stuck in this also. This is
So
also something barrier that you have to listen this non-duality interviews or you have to do some practice to surrender yourself. Or I don't understand that.
mm,
Intellectually, I have understood everything that there is no me and all that stuff, but there is nothing is happening. There are more peace when I'm so-called spiritual meditator and whatever you would like to say. Uh, but now there is lots of peace and grounding in myself. But still, I don't think this is it. I
yeah,
can't say that like you people say.
right. Because there's someone seeking through the meditation, someone
Mm,
trying to surrender. The trying
mm,
is from the individual, the trying is from a position or a belief system. And we learned that. I learned those teachings of surrender and acceptance, and it would never happen. I'd always be like, why can't I surrender? Why can't I let this go? Guru so and so said I should be able to do this. Why can't I let it go? And it would just build more frustration and more frustration. And you know why? It's because no one's actually asking you to let go of anything. That's already utter perfection arising. Even whatever you're
mm,
trying to let go of, which may be pain or being uncomfortable. What we're saying here is whatever is arising is the beloved or is totality, which could be tight muscles, an illness, just feeling tired. But when we've been with spiritual teachers, we think I shouldn't be tired. It means it's low vibrational. I shouldn't have an illness. It means it's low vibrational. I should just surrender this stuff, just let it all go. And we're trying to do something that no one ever asked us to do other than another apparent mind, so to speak. It's a teaching, which is not wrong, but there's actually nothing you need to let go of. How does wholeness let go of wholeness?
So there's nothing to do, but the mind says, no, nothing to do, then what to do?
Mm. Oh, there's a parent doing. We're talking right now, right? You're not choosing your words though, and neither is this. Listen to the birds. There's action, there's doing that's arising, but no one's controlling any of that. There's no self in the birds. There's no self in the tree. There's no self here. It's a complete mystery of how this conversation is even appearing. The mind thinks there's a hurdle. I've got to go over this step in order to reach enlightenment. The message here is there is only enlightenment. But what can appear in enlightenment is that question. How do I let go,
Mm,
Anna? And I say there's
mm,
nothing to let go of.
mm. Should I ask you one last question?
Sure.
Huh? So when you say I have go through lots of your almost every video of yours
Mm,
on your YouTube channel, and
mm.
in some of video you are saying this is not solid, this body is not solid, this is all play of energy and something like this. But I have experienced that this is all solid and this is all what happening is real. So what is
Mm.
that? Well, what is
You say it is and it isn't. I like to see it as the 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, like a matrix code. So it
okay?
is and it isn't. 1 0. It is and it isn't. Simultaneously. It's real and it's unreal simultaneously. The divine feminine is the divine masculine simultaneously. Infinity is finite simultaneously. It is and it isn't. So it's real and it's unreal. So that's why in the experience of belief systems, of seeking, it feels very real. But it's not. It just seems that way. So it's an illusion. It's like the greatest magic trick ever. It's never going to make sense logically. But when it's seen through, it just all of that collapses like a nebulous mist because it never actually was. It's just a dream cloud. It's a thought bubble, so to speak, imagination. That's where the person lives. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm listening all the enlightenment experience again and again by rewinding that hoping that something is happening with me, that pop, which is shared by Luchana and Emerson. Everyone has shared their experience. I like Luchana's experience where she was sitting with her partner and he guided her. So I don't know, but my mind says I don't know, something to do that moment I want. Still, I am looking for that moment where I can be more grounded, like Lushana is sitting very innocently, like a doll, and you are saying very confident.
There's a comparison there, and that's what the individual does. It compares. And let's look at the word individual. In divide you all. It's always comparing, but that is how life wants to appear. Otherwise, it wouldn't appear that way, my friend. But the denial of the person lives in a belief system of, well, if I was enlightened, I would be sitting like that right now. If I was enlightened, I would be walking like this right now. If I was enlightened, I would just be eating green foods all day or something. If it's another belief, another story, that's utter perfection. These are all snowflakes. So to say that you should look like this or like that, it's another story. We're going into religion and dogma. Freedom doesn't look a certain way. The beloved doesn't look a certain way. That's the freedom. That's the freedom, man. It's this.
So don't you think that what you're saying is real for you and a concept for me?
Say that again.
I can. What you people are saying, all the non-duality speaker who have experienced that shift, which is never happened.
It's not an experience. Yeah. So it's not a personal experience, but that's what the me will think. It's going to be an experience for me. Yeah.
So I can put it that way, that is it real for you and concept for me when I am listening your language, that this is all popping up and it's clear, all freedom, there is no material, it's all energy, it's a play of color. So isn't it concept for me who are listening this?
Because it might be. I can't say, but it can definitely be held as a belief. Sure. It can definitely be held as a philosophy. Sure. But I can't say what's arising there. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that if it's being held as a belief or a philosophy. That's not wrong. That's still boundless perfection appearing as that. See, the me is always living in this idea that I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't look this way. I shouldn't, basically, this should not be here. It's where it lives. And those ideas and those stories of how you should look and be and walk and talk, they all just collapse. And there's just this naturalness. There's just a naturalness. Look at the animals. They don't give a shit how you perceive them. They're naturally themselves. They're not comparing. They're not trying to teach each other how to be. It's just this natural luminosity. And they could care less because they don't have self-consciousness to compare or to go left versus right. They don't have that ability. They're just naturally themselves. And if we change the word enlightenment or awakening to organic or authenticity, that may land better in a sense, because the word awakening and enlightenment has so much stuff underneath it, so much heaviness. But what we're speaking about is just authenticity, organicness, before we were taught how we should be. A primalness, an innateness, that which is prior to the ideas of who you think you are, which is innocence.
What exactly should one should do, like a seeker like me, who was desperate seeker? Still, I'm a desperate seeker. Today in the morning itself, I got very depressed that what happened if that shift is not happened, and that's all thought is appearing in my mind. So
there's nothing the seeker can do, because the seeker lives in its own little dream bubble. So saying, okay, giving a modality to you or a meditation or a mantra to you would be saying that the illusion can end the illusion, which doesn't make sense. It's
so very hopeless for me, I think so. For me, It's a hopeless message, I think so.
Oh yeah, you're right though. It is. It's totally hopeless to try to find
Yeah.
this. How do you find
Uh,
something that's not missing? You're right, man. You're
right.
totally right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very hopeless. Thank you for making me hopeless.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful to talk to you. Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much. And
Hitesh.
thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Luchana. Bye. Love you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Love you all the
Love-
Nothing FM team. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Thank you for
Bye.
nothing.
I'm going to read some comments here, both in Zoom chat and also from YouTube. Yeah, wow, Anna rocks. This is from Maryland. Finally, Anna, so cool. Yasmin here to everyone. Again, from YouTube, Lita Lavana. And we have here Rajiv Tripathi. Yeah, maybe he wants, if he's here or she can comment something live if he wants to. The word enlightenment is covered up with all types of layers of dogmas and belief systems is a comment.
Yeah.
Could you say something about practices?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we have here some other friend.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with practices, but all practices are for what we would call the mind. It's for the person trying to reach a better experience. That's it. But life doesn't need practice. There's no judge. This isn't gymnastics, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but practice doesn't lead you somewhere else. That's what the mind thinks. If I do all of this, I'm going to clear and heal and reach higher states of consciousness. And it's an infinite ladder that never ends. But there is no ladder to heaven. That's the good news. There's absolutely no ladder. There's no gap. So there's no need to practice. It's not wrong if that arises. That arose here in the story of Anna totally. And it would feel like, oh, wow, I'm getting closer to something. Oh, big experiences, spiritual highs, all of these groovy things. But it's an addiction. Being an individual is the strongest addiction that can arise because it gets connected to these practices, gets a high or a whiff of an energy, and it wants that high again. And then it plummets to a low. And just like any drug, right? After a high, there's a low, and then it needs to get back to it. So it becomes, let's say meditation becomes a crutch. I can't even start my day without meditating and saging and talking to my ancestors and all of this stuff. Like it's a huge to-do list. But it's not needed. I mean, I like to say this a lot, but my cat doesn't wake up every morning to meditate to be a cat. I'm a cat. I am a cat. I am a cat. It just cats. Life just cats. But the person thinks, okay, I am divine consciousness. I am God. I am totality. It's got to do these things. But really, that's only the mind trying to recondition a new belief system. That's it. This is not about beliefs, folks. It's not about beliefs at all. Beliefs are for the dream and the dreamer. And in the word beliefs is the word lie. It's right in the center. So living in as an individual or in the dream is really being a lie. What we call awakening is just simply being life. It doesn't need beliefs. It doesn't need practices. Now, if you are training for the Olympics, by all means, practice. That makes sense. But you can't practice this. You can't.
Awesome. I'm going to read another question here or maybe comment. Let's see. Did you have a teacher, Anna? This is from John Luna. I missed the first couple minutes. How did the understanding down in your life? This is a question from John. Yeah, okay. And then Jirish. Just
okay. Hi, John. So when there was a lot of seeking, yeah, oh gosh, all kinds of teachers from what we would call old school non-duality to new age, to all kinds of stuff. But you could say the final messengers that arose here before seeking seemed to dissolve was Jim Newman and Tony Parsons. They're not teachers though. Say more messengers or reflectors. But along the dream of seeking, yeah, there was many teachers and gurus that popped up, because what's funny is when there is a belief here that you need a teacher or that you need a guide into this, yeah, or like this is a school system, then all of these gurus and teachers seem to pop up in your dream. Hey, 5 steps to this. oh, are your chakras out of whack? Well, take this and it'll help you heal and you'll become enlightened. All of these things will seem to pop up in your dream, like salesmen, like quackery, take this potion, try this crystal. Yeah. It's all for the person. Mm. Mm. So something saw through that though, but I will say in the story of Anna, there was something, that's not a thing, that did see through the bullshit of teachings, but there was unworthiness here. There was a conditioning and a belief of unworthiness here. So even though there was an intuitive knowing that this is all bullshit and all nonsense, the whole path and the teachers and the hierarchies was all nonsense, there was something within that was compelled to follow the leader due to insecurity and unworthiness, the conditioning of the character. But that seemingly fell away, not by practices, not by force. It was spontaneous. I like to say it's like when the apple falls from the tree, it just seems to happen.
Cherish, go and unmute yourself. Go on.
Hello. Hello, Nothing FM and all beautiful souls. I am also doing Luchana. No, I am in spiritual practice and I'm listening Nothing FM from 1 or 2 months. I have a question. I ask every speaker that what is your story? When there is I, there is story. We all need a story, or we seeking story. Without story, we feel hopeless. Or so, how you see your life, or how you can explain your story? Because people need story.
Before I answer your question, are you on camera? Because all I see is like multiple pictures of myself. It's very interesting. But I was going to see if I could actually see you to talk to you. Is your camera on?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Hi. I see you now. Hello. Good, beautiful. Okay, so can you ask that question one more time? In short.
Everyone's seeking story in day-to-day life. And I'm also searching now this story. When I am in nothingness, I don't need all these people or this FM. But when I am in now, in this present moment, I'm talking with you, I need story.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with story, but the me lives in a story. And obviously there is still talking in a story that appears. So it's not like the end all be all. And there's no one here who sees life personally. It's just very simple. There's no labeling, projecting. This means this about me. You see, the me is like a label maker. It's always labeling everything that arises. And it's always about itself. So it's very, go ahead. Say that again.
Difference in animal and human, that is, we need story. We live story, actually.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
We
I'm
live
so sorry.
Story, actually. I observe that in animal and human, we need story, actually. Animal don't need story. We need story.
Right. We don't need it. We actually don't need it. We think we do. No, everything's very immediate and intimate for an animal. Absolutely. So they don't have a story wrapped around what's going on. So example I use a lot is, my cat can eat a mouse, but it doesn't sit down after it's eaten the mouse and wonder about its karma at all. It doesn't have that ability to self-reflect or even have a story of what karma is. See, we learned all of these things. Good and bad, right and wrong, self-consciousness, all of these things. But that's what seems to dissolve is self-consciousness, because self-consciousness is the ability to reflect, to create a story and meaning around something, which is not wrong. It's just an experience. But self-consciousness is also the breeding ground of doubt. And that is what falls away. Doubt totally falls away. And then there's a natural confidence, because doubt is all coming from the weeds of belief systems and stories that your folks and communities have apparently told you, which are not real. Not wrong either, but yeah. But this is very natural and organic. So there can be talking in the story like, this is where we're going next week. We have this planned and la 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 la. But it's just what's arising as this. Doesn't really have any importance or meaning. So this isn't like awakening happens and then you're cut off from life and there's no longer drinking coffee or eating cheesecake or going to the movies. No, man, this is being in the world and not of it. We're just saying what drops is neurosis, is doubt, is insecurity, is tons of labels and meaning and you being the center of what's arising, because the sense of identity totally feels like the sun of its solar system and everything is revolving around it. Right? Let's do a dance move. Okay. So everything is revolving around it. And there's such a specialness about it. And that is why it thinks enlightenment or awakening is so special, because it feels very special. It feels very inflated, like a Macy's Day balloon. But guess what those things are made of? Air. Yeah. There's nothing in there. Yeah.
Thanks, Jerish. There is a comment here or sort of question. Anna, you also mentioned about listening to Mooji.
Yes, when there was still seeking going on, I listening to Mooji and other non-dual and Advaita teachers. But Mooji and other Advaita teachers had practices, and something there never resonated. Something never resonated. There would be frustration. There would be all these things that would arise. I'm like, why am I doing these things? You could say intuition was arising in a sense, saying this isn't needed. But I felt like I needed to do it because Guru so-and-so said so. It was just, again, from that stemming of unworthiness that I needed to do these practices. But Mooji and a lot of old school non-dual teachers, they come from a lineage, which is, a hand down of a certain philosophies or teachings or modalities. So here no line or lineage is needed. There was nothing wrong with those practices. There was also no choice in that. But that's just what apparently arose. But there's a teacher there. And those teachers speak to somebody as if they can bring forth enlightenment. And I've even heard some of these teachers say that practices are for the mind, but then they turn around and give practices to the mind. It doesn't make any sense. And so something here, again, that's not a thing, saw through that, saw it as bullshit, saw it as another subtlety of a religion or a path, and it just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense anymore. Yeah. But yeah, there's all kinds of teachers, my friend. Yeah. But those teachers are not wrong. I have to be so clear here. They too are the beloved. So there's no right or wrong here. Mm-mm.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. From David. This is a question from David from YouTube. Hi, Anna. Do you find it strange, the setup of your answering questions about life?
No. No. It's
okay. I'm going to read another one, and then we have Trina here raising her hand. So Anna, unite, divide, or something like that. I'm not sure I pronounced your name correct. So Anna, does wearing designer stuff make you feel less than? I feel like it does for me. I could feed someone, not just clothes, but any material object. What we can do to save people?
Well, first ask who's the one who wants to save people. Because most of the time when we feel broken, we see a world of brokenness. And there's obviously nothing wrong with helping others and compassion and donating and service. That naturally arises. It doesn't stem from a sense of inadequacy or that this world is truly broken. See, because most of the time the me takes those types of actions to make itself actually feel better about itself for being a good person, because that's what a good person does. Yeah, I'm going to go visit the sick. But what is that motivation? What is that intention from? That's all. There's a different energy. One is completely intentionless, agendaless, and one has an agenda there. One has an intention of, let's make this world a better place because it's shit. Or, this will make me feel better if I go and I do service. So it just depends. Most beings are doing that out of a codependent relationship. But there is nothing wrong with trying to save the world or visiting the sick or helping others. That's just what's naturally arising. But for the person, they're usually doing it because they want to be a really good person. They want to be what the light would do, or what be holy or whatever that is. Yeah. Here we're saying it's all equal. Yeah.
Thank you. Trina, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Anna.
Hi.
Wow. The idea of not needing to practice is, for me, it's been just about silence, just sitting in silence and just being in that space, and then noticing there's not that much difference, but still thinking that I need to stay in that space, or believing that I need to stay in that space. So it's such a crazy thing, like how the mind just wants to play in that belief that there's something different that I need to do than just be.
Right.
So what I hear you say is there's like a natural arising of the spontaneity of experience. You don't think about it, it just moves you. And why is that so hard? Like, why do you think that's so hard for so many people to just, I mean, I can remember feeling it before I lived with it and just not doing it, like just feeling it and just not, just being like, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. Like the mind won.
Yeah. So we think that we should always be silent and still. We hear a lot of those teachings, right? Just stillness, silence, and that's beautiful. But what we're speaking about here is there's a stillness as well as a chaos, and there's simultaneous, like a hurricane or a tornado. So just trying to be the I all the time is a denial of the whole hurricane or the whole tornado. What we're saying here is we are simultaneously that still point as well as the movement, which is formlessness and form. Non-action and action, being in the world and yet not of it. No one can do that though. It's natural. The mind will try to do that. How do I be in it and not, it's gonna try. This is just a naturalness. Yeah.
And I more meant the feeling of like, now I experience that moving me, like something moves me, but I can still see the times when the movement wanted to happen and I didn't allow it, like that the mind didn't allow it.
I see what you're saying. So already there's a little dualisticness there, because then we'll think I should have went with that. I should have went that way, which is the fork in the road of right. There's no choice. So what arose there naturally, that's how life wanted to appear. Otherwise it wouldn't have appeared that way.
Right.
But the mind will come in and go, oh, I should have went with that. It should have happened or something like that. No, whatever is arising is what you could say what's meant to arise. I don't really like that word, but otherwise it wouldn't be appearing.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
So it's only the mind that gets a hold of it and thinks it should be something different.
Yeah, which is just, you could say, belief systems or stories or what we think we know about this, because we were told, oh, I should be still. If I'm enlightened, I should really be still all the time, right? Oh God, I have an itch. Damn it. I'm not enlightened. It's like, no, it's like, this is so natural, earthy. The human is infinity. So there's going to be these like characteristics that arise, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the me's always trying to like it's literally got a stick up its butt. It's constipated. It's trying so hard to be like a soldier of God or heaven or enlightenment, whatever that is, man. And obviously that is hard. It's so much efforting. What we're speaking about is like naturalness, which can be cranky. It can be like, oh God, I'm just going to lay down today. Anything can appear, and that's the freedom. That's the freedom. So that means you can lay on a couch all day and there's no longer a mind going, you should be doing more to be successful. Go do those emails, go do dishes, blah, 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 blah. All of that just drops. And there's just laying on the couch. There's no longer meaning or importance, because success is not in what you do.
So the same with like yelling at your kid or like having any moment that in the past might have been thought of as less than or not
right.
part of what enlightenment would look like. There is none of that.
But you can say what does soften and drop is an intensity of neurosis. So let's say, quote unquote, before there was a lot of lashing out at the children because there was just a lot of anxiety and stress. Like that wouldn't appear as let's say as intense, because there's not someone living contracted trying to be the perfect mom or dad anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Trina. I'm going to read another comment here, and then we have Eugene, maybe. but in a minute. So from Michael, hi Anna. Did you have any contact with Jet McKenna material? I found you through a lovely through a lovely endorsement he gave you, and you are looking radiant, by the way. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And no, actually, I have not read any of his material.
That does answer the question, because that's my primary.
But does anybody else hear a man's voice in the background, or is it just me? Chiming in. Does anyone else hear someone else in the background talking?
I've heard some voice, but now no.
Okay.
I can hear it, and it's annoying.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. Yeah, there's a voice kind of chiming in the background. It sounds like they're talking on the phone or something.
Let's see. Let's chase this.
Okay.
Eugene. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Eugene. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Hi. I think you started this talk by saying that whatever you think about, you'll be served that again and again.
Seems that way, yeah.
Sounded like law of attraction, actually.
It seems that way in the dream.
Yeah.
It really does. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It truly does. That's why I said here, there was a lot of unworthiness, and it truly felt everywhere I went, there was just confirmations of unworthiness. Okay. But it's not real though. It's pseudo. It's just like a dream bubble, and that pops, and it's seen by no one that it never really was, that it was like a dream. That's why the word dream appears. It's such a good pointer, because it seems real when it's appearing, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you said the apple drops. So we can't really do anything about this.
No.
I mean, all this searching and non-searching, and it's just the apple that drops, and we have no say in when the apple drops. So we can and being a seeker and going through all these heavy emotions, and being on the other side where you are, where you're not there, is the same thing also.
No other side. Yeah.
There is no side.
Yeah.
So it's okay going through the seeking, and it's okay, because I get stuck in, well, if I'm on the other side, I wouldn't worry about these things, or I should not think about these things, or but that's not what's happening now. I'm always striving, and that's another story that's causing me even more suffering, trying to achieve something that I mean, I don't know. This is also a story, me coming here because I want something. This is not a group where I'm going to hammer all my fingers, and I probably wouldn't go to a meeting like that. So there's something to this too. So I mean, I don't know.
The mind isn't attracted to this message.
No.
The seeker is not attracted to this. What's attracted to this is intuition, is the heart, that which really can't be named.
Okay.
Formlessness can hear this, but the mind's kind of like, okay, where's my shit? You know, what's going on here? Give me something. But something here is just like, dude, it's all good. It's all good.
That's how we learn growing up, is to use the mind, because we're always going after the job, the car, and there's pathways to that. And there's like, get a good education. And we just apply the same philosophy to enlightenment and coming to this, and really failing terribly.
Yeah, this is just a veneration, you could say, a celebration of that which is. Yeah. But it's very conditional to think, okay, I'm going to show up to this and get something, because you're right, that's what we're taught, especially like in school systems, teachings, all of that. We think, okay, I'm going to get something here. Oh no, you're going to go home empty-handed, man. You already are empty-handed. But yeah, because what I speak to and from, which is positionless, it's full. It's so full, yet simultaneously empty. But the mind is always starving. What we call identity is starving. And that's why it loves the buffet of spirituality, and it's gobbling it all up, and it's constantly hungry again.
Right. Yeah. But doesn't the mind make things exciting? Doesn't it give it like the drama of life? Doesn't the yin and yang of things, the terrible things that are going on in the world, doesn't it make you appreciate the the love and the closeness of someone, when you can have that? Doesn't
Oh,
it?
no, I get what you're saying, but that's the taste and the flavors of opposites.
Right. Does that go away on the other side?
Well, never really was. And there's not another side, but that softens. Absolutely. There can still be, let's say, missing someone, or if there's an apparent loss in your life, someone dies, there can be crying. There can even be a sense of loss and a reverence for that character. But it's seen that no one actually truly dies. Yeah, but it doesn't mean there's not the human emotions of crying and going to the funeral and speaking to family members. All of that naturally arises. Let's just say it loses its intense gravity.
Okay.
Loses the borders. There's like a softness to everything, and it's no longer personal.
Right. So what exactly is the mind
then? It's another label for that which we're calling in control, that which thinks they're in control and that they can know this. We can just call the mind knowledge, or you call the mind is time. It's also the world we think we're living in.
Okay. But it drops.
Well, there's still thoughts that arise, and there's still emotions that arise.
Okay.
It's just no one lives here. No one lives upstairs anymore. No one lives in abstract thought and imagination. So thoughts can appear and emotions can appear. No one's super invested or interested in them like a person is, because a person is constantly rearranging emotions, trying to make them better, trying to get rid of negative ones. It's just constantly tinkering, and that tinkering drops. So sadness can appear, gratitude can appear, bliss can appear, romance can appear, anything can appear. It's just, it doesn't stick like a fly trap anymore. It's very carpe diem, seize the day, intimate and immediate. And then it's gone, it's fleeting. Yeah.
It's not a grasping. It's not a...
This is like picking up a big scoop of sand at the beach and it's all just going through your fingers. That's life already. It's just fleeting. But the sense of identity is trying to build a sandcastle, constantly keeping it together, and the waves are just brushing it down, knocking it down. It's like, oh shit, put it back together again, meaning its belief systems, its foundation that it thinks it has. Yeah.
That's what people say when they're talking about free fall, I think. I hear that.
Yeah. It's fleeting. It's all transient. It's ephemeral.
Pretty scary.
For the mind, sure. For that which thinks this is only real, because identity thinks this is only real, not unreal as well, simultaneously. This is just real. This is just concrete. Yeah. So of course it'll feel very threatening. But the only thing that can be threatened here is, again, a belief system, which is a lie. So only lies can die. Only lies can fall away. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Okay. Last question. I've heard this said that there is nothing and there's the everything. Those are the two things. There's the nothing and the everything. But in the everything, there's the uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is unique. It's not one blob of everything's the same. And
right. That's this though.
Okay.
But they're not two. It's not two. This is the absolute appearing relative. This is a monologue, my friend.
Okay. It's the expression of nothing.
But the me will think nothing is just like a black, dark abyss void of death and annihilation. I mean, mystery. When I say nothing, it's a mystery. It's unknowable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it there for now, Anna.
Okay, friend.
All right.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks, Eugene. Thank you. I'm going to read some comments here and questions. So from YouTube, to how much suffering have you been before that realization, Anna? Is the first question.
We always think we need tons of pain to gain, don't we? Yeah. But in the story of Anna, there was lots of suffering, you could say. But it's not like a spectrum of who has more suffering or not suffering. Suffering doesn't lead to this, I must say. But yes, there was lots of suffering that seemed to arise in the story, but it seemed that it was just truly a story. So there was anxiety, there was unworthiness, depression, OCD, an eating disorder. There was many things that arose here. And that's what I mean by when neurosis seems to fall away. Yeah, but suffering doesn't lead to something greater, like we're taught. Like, okay, get through this with your pain and your suffering, and it's going to reach a reward, kind of like a religion or Christianity or something like that. Bear your cross and follow me. It's not necessary. Suffering is not necessary. But within the human realm and consciousness, it seems as so we should suffer for a little reward. Yeah. But we're saying suffering can arise here. Sadness, anything can appear here. It's just no longer personal. No one is no longer suffering. When a person is suffering, it's intense. There's an intense gravity to it. And there's tons of story and mind chatter. When there's no longer an identity or a center point, anything can appear. Trauma, anything can seem to arise for the body, so to speak. It's not coming for someone. It's not arising for someone. So it doesn't have that intensity or that, let's say, extra add-on of a story of this means this. Because in the story of Anna, when they were seeking, and anything that would arise, it was about me and my vibration or how I'm doing on my spiritual path, which is obviously an extra layer of suffering. Not needed, so to speak.
Another question. What does the statement "there is no separation" mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything. Nothing means anything at all. The mind is really going to get hung up on words, and it's literally going to dissect it with its little scalpel and try to break down every single word. But actually, nothing means anything at all. Meaning can arise, but nothing has any inherent meaning. Separation is that energetic contraction of feeling isolated, separate from wholeness, separate from God, separate from heaven. And I've got to find my way back. I've got to journey through the desert to reconnect. You can't reconnect to this. Nothing was ever disconnected. Separation's an illusion. But there's an appearance of two-ness, obviously. Appearance of bodies, appearance of a story, appearance of an evolution that seems to arise, yes. But it's very obvious it's not two. It's a play, so to speak.
Thank you. Girish is here for maybe a following question.
Hello.
Hi.
My voice is coming? Hello. I am also observing from this 2 months. I observed that nothingness is there. Yes, right. But while the expression or in life expression that need the thought, feelings, mind, and story, there is need.
That's what you think. Yeah, that's your experience. You think you need story, mind, and thoughts. Actually, you don't need any thought at all. Just like a cat doesn't need to have thinking and story and all of these things. The human feels so special and above nature, so it thinks it's grandiose. It's not. Humans are not special. Nothing is special. This is an evenness. This is a total equilibrium. Thought is not needed. That's what the mind and story would love to say, though. Let me keep chattering. You need me, man. You totally need all this shit. No, it's not needed at all. There can be a knowing here without any mental commentary. Just like these words are pouring out of the mouth without any of this. It's intuitive, it's spontaneous, it's immediate, it's intimate. The mind needs to premeditate. It needs to chew on everything. And it's got to break everything down through imagination. It's not necessary. But if that's arising there, that's just what's arising. So what?
No, actually, I am studied that neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, and while we use language, we when we use language, then you access memories or pictures or sound. That happens, no? Yes, we label that our mind, we use that words, but while expression we need in lots of time I feel that nothingness can't express itself. That needs something.
That the what now? That the what can't express itself?
Nothingness can't express itself.
This is it. This is it. This is absolutely nothing appearing as something seeming to express itself.
Yes.
The mind's trying to figure it out, though. Where does it come from? Do we need thought? Do we need all of these things? Like I said, thoughts arise. They're not personal. Thoughts aren't the problem. It's the one who thinks they're so important. That's an energetic structure within the body that's leaning on thoughts as a savior, so to speak. Thoughts are not important. They're not wrong, but they're also not important. They're not necessary. There can be a whole conversation without any mental kind of premeditation going on, just intuitiveness, so to speak. But we've been conditioned to live upstairs, to lean on knowledge, things we've read, things we've heard. But everything you think you know was handed down to you by somebody else. So knowledge is just a trap. It's just a bubble of experience. This is completely unknowable, which is very frustrating for what we call mind. I understand that. But it's unknowable. How do you know nothing? That's why it's called a mystery. There's nothing wrong with knowing. Right now I'm reading some books on herbs. That seems to be knowledge, but that's not this. That's this appearing as learning about herbs, but you can't learn nothing. You can't learn your true nature. It's not school. This is too simple. It's too simple. The mind lives in a labyrinth. Yeah.
Well, when I drop all these things, I see it just, there is no thought, there is no feeling. But while I am in family or when I am doing my job, the need thought, emotions, and story.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with emotions.
Yeah,
Emotions can, yeah. They can appear. What we're just saying here, can be an energetic structure that's trying to micromanage that. Like it's better to be just still all the time or silent, or I shouldn't have these emotions, or I shouldn't have these heavy conversations with the family. No, that's perfection arising in the world and not of it. Yes. Already there's no separate self. So what's appearing is already the beloved appearing is that. Which could be talking to your mom on the phone. Amazing. Awesome. Right? But this has to be something special for the person. It's got to be like a constant bliss state. It's got to be, no, I can't just be talking to my mom on the phone. Yeah. But the knowledge is, no, I'm actually talking to my mom on the phone, which seems to create this really concrete reality where it's dense and it's personal and there's two, you see, but really the mom is still the beloved appearing as the mom. It's a great mystery. But as long as we think we know, there's two. There's really just this human body, and in that human body, we live in that kind of heaviness. But really, we don't know what this is. Nobody knows what this is. I don't know what this is. But there's no one here who cares anymore to try to figure it out or wrangle it. Yeah. Because it's just an idea that you can reach enlightenment. It's just another story. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Girish. There is here a question, maybe it's related for what you've mentioned about the belief system. So the only thing that can be threatened is a belief. So me is a belief?
You could say it's a story. It's something like we've conjured up. Think about like, what are those things? Like the more it spins, like a tornado, it picks up debris. Yeah, it picks up debris, right? And it seems to be massive. So we learned our identity. We learned our names, right? Like you're a male and you're a female. This is what a female does. This is what a male does. Yeah? We got these roles. Yeah? We started to learn responsibility and that you need to make something of your life and go to school and pick up your toys. What's wrong with you? Eat your vegetables. Like we started to learn all of these things from our parents. And they learned that from their parents. Now, of course, this is a story, but it's just hand-me-downs. So we start to see, again, that everything we think we know has been spoon-fed to us by somebody else who thought they knew. You see, so we learned identity. We learned this thing called separation. We learned to seek from this apparent world we were born in. That's not wrong, though. You see, but that seems to shroud or cover up the intuition or beingness. That's not connected to that story of time. There's nothing wrong with roles or anything, but we learn separation. That's why you can't learn this. You can't learn intuition. It's here now underneath the beliefs of I'm in control. Life is up to me. My mom told me so. You know, this famous cat on YouTube said, I've got to make vision boards and I've got to create my reality and I've got to do all of these things. So in short, yeah, it's very much a follow the leader kind of thing, being a person. It's very much sheep mentality. It's afraid to naturally be itself. And actually, the sense of identity can't be itself ever. Even if it tries, it will never be able to be natural or organic or itself, because it's living in a bubble of I know how to be a person. I know what is right and what is wrong. And it's just constipation. And when that falls away, it's you without the you, I like to say, which seems confusing, I know. But finally, the true character, the true expression, the true snowflake, the true fingerprints of what I call God can be expressed, because there's no longer doubt and insecurity or what my mama and dad has said about me seeming to cover up that natural expression. Because again, there's no right or wrong way for freedom. Freedom doesn't look a certain way. It's this already, without the ideas of what you think freedom is, because for the individual, freedom is a fantasy.
Thank you. Oh, we have Art here. Hi, Art.
Hey, Luchana.
Hi.
Hey, Anna. I wanted to thank you for doing this. I really appreciate how it resonates how you share this, and I really appreciate you sharing this here.
You're welcome, friend.
And I wanted to ask you, for the apparent Anna, was there a sudden or gradual shift into this, or both, or or neither?
You could almost say both, but in the story of Anna, there was a dropping away when I was around the age of 7. So there is what some would call a glimpse. Identity fell away, not through practice, not through, following gurus or anything. I was just laying in bed one night and I intuitively repeated my name like a mantra. I didn't know what mantras were. I was raised Catholic. I just intuitively just started saying my name. And all of a sudden there was just a pop. And there was just no identity. There was no position. There was just, I can't explain it. But there was no contraction, no restlessness. But then that identity or seeking seemed to come back in. And then there's going to school and boys and clothes and seeking that appeared in many different ways. But you could say through the story of Anna, it was an oscillation where there would be droppings and then the chokehold would seem to come back in. The beliefs of unworthiness and insecurity would seem to arise again. But intuitively, throughout the whole apparent journey, because it is seen when that collapses that it never really did happen, there was constant intuition saying, this is too much busy work. These teachers, it doesn't make sense. Something never resonated. But because of unworthiness, I kept seemingly following the leader. But yeah, in short, it was oscillations. And then finally, it just didn't come back up anymore, you could say. Yeah.
Was there a day or a moment you remember where it didn't come back up anymore? Was it?
No, it's not like on this date at this time written in my diary kind of a thing. No. Yeah. No, it just stopped coming up, of the need to practice, the need to reach out to another teacher, the need to all of this. But there were catalysts that appeared, right? It seems like catalysts seemed to arise, which was seeing through teachers, new age teachers, and how I was putting them up on a pedestal and kneeling to them. Because I thought they knew more than me, but my heart was saying they don't. This is all just a play. This is all just a game. It was too complicated because it was set up like a school system, and my heart knew, no way. Heaven is way simpler than this. So yeah, there was like kind of that cat and mouse game for a little bit, so to speak, but that just popped. But there's not like a set time or date kind of a thing, no. Because it's not a happening. You see, the me thinks like, oh my God, everything's gonna be so different. But it's really chop wood, carry water. This what seems to fall away is the intense labeling and projection. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way you share it. I mean, I really love hearing how the uniqueness of how different people express this, because there is no, to me, it seems like there's no right way to express this. And the way you talk about the unworthiness that fell away for you, to me, that's such a beautiful thing to highlight. I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, my friend. Yes, because that unworthiness is constantly seeking validation. And that's why it loves the teachers, you know, because it wants the validation. But there's something here that doesn't need any validation. It's so sure of its worthiness. It shows so sure of its confidence in a sense. Yeah. It's just not mental. Yeah.
And what would you say inspires you to talk to people about this, or on YouTube, here now?
Well, it's not that a me gets inspired. I like to say, why does the bird sing at dawn? I don't really know, but it's just what the bird does. It sings, not because you're coming by with your phone, but it's just what it does. So it's just natural. So I can't really say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for singing your song here, Anna.
Oh, thanks, Art.
Thanks, Art. That was so beautiful. There is a comment here, or this is a request actually. I would love to read a Rumi poem if time allows. This is from Masha. And yeah, why not?
Hi,
sure, you can read.
Hi everyone. Hi Anna. I thought this poem spoke to me so much, and all of my questions have fallen away, so I'll just read this poem. It's titled In Between Stories. Turn from the ocean now toward dry land. When you're with children, talk about toys. From playthings, little by little, they reach into deeper wisdom and clarity. Gradually, they lose their interest in their toys. They have a sense of wholeness in them already. If they were completely demented, they wouldn't play at all. Did you hear that? It's the man who was looking for treasure. He wants me to finish his story. You didn't hear him? He must be inside me yelling, over here, come over here. Don't think of him as a seeker, though. Whatever he's looking for, he is that himself. How can a lover be anything but the beloved? Every second he's bowing into a mirror. If you could see for just a second one molecule of what's there without fantasizing about it, he'd explode. His imagination and he himself would vanish with all his knowledge, obliterated into a new birth, a perfectly clear view, a voice that says, I am God. That's all. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you, Masha. Thanks a lot. Eugene, go ahead and unmute your.
Hello? Hello? Anna? Can you
hi.
hear me?
Sorry. Yeah. Hi. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. I was
Hi.
just thinking my audio was down.
No, you're good.
Okay. I just want to tell you a little bit about, I guess, myself, or how I'm kind of jealous of, not everybody thinks about stories and how their stories are, or looking for enlightenment. I'm jealous of my friends who, when I have coffee with them, they're talking about their family, they're talking about their house, they're talking about their cars. They don't worry about their stories. They're just going on with life. And I'm the one, and maybe I feel a lot of people here are sensitive, and they analyze things a lot. I think I'm one of those people, but in society, I'm kind of a misfit. I'm, island of misfit toys. I'm one of those toys on that island. And if we're living in the story, while we're living in the story, if we're imagining we're living in the story, isn't it better to live a good story than a bad story? Isn't it better to think positive, to do things that make you feel better? I mean, as long as we're living in the story, if we're imagining, or does it matter? Is there no difference between?
There's no free will or choice. So there's no you who could choose to do that anyways. But it's assuming that that's real, that you can choose to think positive thoughts, that you can make this life better. That's the dualistic reality where most beings live in. Thinking positive thoughts, I create my reality, all of these things, living in a good and a bad. That's duality. This is a good life. This is a bad life. We're saying here, those are illusions. What is good and what is bad? You were taught that.
Right.
What we're saying here is even ticks are good in a sense. It's an equilibrium.
Okay.
There's no opposite. There's not an opposite. So parasites, everything is an equilibrium. Now, of course, there's preferences. Yeah, I'm going to say there's totally preferences, but there's not heavy judgment of good and bad. There's not heavy meaning of what good and bad is anymore. Yeah, in and out groups, totally. Yeah.
So have you ever met someone in your life where you say, I really don't want to see that person again? I really don't want to. I mean, does that happen still? I mean, or do you say, well, there's nobody there and nobody here, so
no, boundaries can arise. Boundaries definitely can arise. Yes, naturally though, naturally. But there's not the heavy story and fluff wrapped around that boundary like, oh my God, this person is just awful and I can't stand them. And can you see what they're doing to my life? Like, oh my God, the soapbox drops. But there can be a, hey, boundary. You know what I mean? A natural closing the door or something like that. But there's not the heavy, woe is me victim consciousness wrapped around it. I mean, there's natural self-respect. There's natural self-love. But the me doesn't know what self-respect or self-love is. So it tries to practice it or create it or learn about it. I mean, it's just when there's no me, it's natural self-respect and self-love. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It gives more clarity to what you're saying about softening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I was going to ask you, are there certain actions that lead to contraction and certain actions that lead to softening? I mean, no.
I mean, nothing. This isn't going anywhere. There is only this. It doesn't lead. That's what the me thinks, though, because the me sees a path.
Right. Right. I mean, if I have a pain, I might immediately think, oh God, I got cancer. I have to, you know, those thoughts are more contracting than, oh, I got a pain. Maybe I'll just take aspirin.
Right. And there can be a thought of like cancer. It just like, it like fizzles out like a firework in the night sky. It doesn't stay. No one's going, oh my God, I have cancer now. I've got to go Google all of this and all of, no, that just falls away. But there can be going to the doctor. Why can't that arise? Like this, we're speaking about naturalness here. Chopping wood and carrying water. We're just saying you're not the one who's chopping the wood or carrying the water. So if cancer arises, it's not your fault. You know, just like it's not the tree's fault when a disease arises. The tree can get a disease, but it doesn't have self-consciousness, so it doesn't blame itself or others. Nor does it have like the fear of death of that. Okay. Now, of course, the body wants to naturally thrive and be healthy, so it'll lean towards health, obviously. So if there's an illness in the body, it will do its best to rest, hydrate, and to reach health, if you will. Like there's a naturalness with the body, you know, going to the doctor, resting, all of these things. It's not just a denial of that. This is an inclusion. Naturally, we're just saying there's not a you who brought forth the cancer. There's not a you in your vibration or your karma that seemed to bring forth whatever's arising. The blame goes.
Right. The dogma goes.
Yeah, man. And then there's just laying down with an illness or taking care of that or whatever it is. Yeah. Very ordinary. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't spin a story when you get into a romantic relationship.
Oh, I mean, I'm engaged. So there is a romantic relationship that's has arisen here, but
he's gonna be there for the rest of my life. He's the one and only, and he fulfills the other half of me. Those thoughts don't come in anymore. Or
now there could be some romance, totally, because this character is definitely bhakti and definitely devotional and romanticizes. So there can be all kinds of what someone be like, bleh, puke all over. What is she? That's just what arises as this character. That's the uniqueness. But no, there's no one here who thinks like it's bound. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, including a breakup, and then whatever arises with that would arise. I can't say. You're right, but that's the carpe diem of this. That's the seize the day of this. It's intimate and immediate.
But it's so hard to imagine the carpe diem when there's nobody to carpe diem that.
I know, that's why the words are limiting. I know, they're just pointers, but it's a natural seizing. There's no one waiting to seize the day, like, oh God, I'm going to wait for enlightenment before I can have a good time or whatever. It's just natural. It's just a naturalness because this is already dead. This is life and death simultaneously, resurrection and rebirth. It's all of this. Yeah. Simultaneously. So that's what I mean by the unreal is the real, or death and rebirth. It's simultaneous and what we would say every moment, which, but that's this. It's always refreshed. It's always new and spontaneous. It's not regurgitated, and there's not someone living through past memory. So tomorrow isn't arising, or sorry, yesterday isn't arising here. What happened there, so to speak. If there was a fight or if there was a whatever, it doesn't taint this.
Okay, well, that's different. That's totally different. I mean, I would be totally tainted from yesterday or
yeah, yeah, that's what the individual does because it's a ball and chain. It's accumulating everything. Again, like a tornado, it's picking up debris constantly, and that's its story that drops, and there's just no longer stickiness. There's no importance in yesterday or tomorrow. It loses its importance because it's not real.
No. But you can still enjoy a story. You can enjoy a good movie.
Yes, my gosh. Watching a movie, going out to eat, all of these types of things appear. And yeah, there can be an enjoyment or a non-enjoyment of, wow, this tastes like garbage or what. Yeah, it's radical authenticity, but no one's doing it. That's why it's radically authentic, because no one's trying to be authentic.
That's why the mind can't get it, because I cannot get this.
Oh no. How do you catch the wind with a butterfly net?
It's like a Zen koan, this whole thing.
Oh, totally, man.
Like Alzheimer's.
Did you say Alzheimer's?
Yeah, I was joking, but it seems like it sometimes. All right. I'll leave it there, Anna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Eugene. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there is some following comment from Joseph. Is this Joey? Joey, is that you? So if it is a belief, it can be unbelieved. It is the comment.
Well, that's why I say it's not necessarily a belief. It's just a story. It's something that was handed down to us. But beliefs sometimes are not what we would call conscious. You can have a belief so embodied, it just plays out, so to speak. For example, someone can walk through the grocery store and have a panic attack and nothing's even happening because there's such a belief of insecurity or fear or paranoia, you see? So it can be so ingrained and so embodied, and this is another story, but it can just like play out without any thought processes. Because a lot of the times we think, oh, the thoughts are beliefs, beliefs are thoughts. But if you've been thinking, so to speak, in the story, a thought for so long, like I am less than, I am unworthy, everywhere I go, there's fear and panic. It's like just ingrained. It's like weaved, so to speak, in that dream so tightly that you could just be walking down the road and all of a sudden there's just anxiety. There's just panic, or there's just paranoia or fear. So belief's can't be the right word. There's not really necessarily a right word for that, but we learn those things. You know, like some characters are conditioned in, let's say, more positive family lives, so to speak, real positive. They're confident. They've got great outlooks on life and all of these things. And then some beings, so to speak, in their story are conditioned for anxiety and unworthiness, and life is really hard. So the character can seem to express that differently, but that's what drops. That's what seems to fall away. The me actually can't see the beliefs because it's a belief itself. So how does it change it? It can't. It's an illusion trying to change an illusion. So these are just words, but.
I'm going to read another comment. Hi, Anna. This is Leonard, by the way. Oh, this is Leonard. After our conversations, some viewers asked me about perhaps what your viewpoint about Hitler and hatred that's happening in the world being done to the weak.
Yeah, Hitler's unconditional love appearing as Hitler. All of this is unconditional love. This is an equilibrium, which is never going to set well for the mind. You see, the brain is cut into two hemispheres. It's going to only operate in opposites and polarities, and this is right and this is wrong. And if you're not on this side, well, you're against us. So F you, kind of a thing. What we're saying here is an evenness. So even Hitler is the beloved appearing as Hitler. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you why or why that is appearing. The finite mind is never going to understand infinity. But it is all a dream. None of this is real. So as long as we keep going into history and digging up the world, we're just talking about mind. Mind equals world, world equals mind. Oh, hello, bird. So this doesn't, that's where the me wants to go into. I need to have this resolved of why the Holocaust arose, why COVID is here before I can be at peace, damn it. I'm saying that one who asks the question will never be at peace because it feels like a piece of wholeness. You are Hitler. Hitler is you. There is no separation. And so this is why I love to bring up our brother Jesus, because he sat with heathens. He sat with prostitutes. He sat with the underbelly of society. And he did that because there was a recognition he was those folks. There is no separation here. So as long as you think you are pious or above the ticks or Hitler or all these other things, we're living in a division. We're living in a dream world of neurosis where there's me and there's other. There's war, there's famine, there's poverty. And what we're saying here is it's a singularity arising as all of that. That's not going to make any logical or practical sense. This message cannot help your life. It is not soothing. There's something here that doesn't need help and doesn't need soothed. Nor does it care about any of those things that seem to arise, like the apparent history. But as long as we're going to the past, we're speaking in story and illusion. It's not this. It's not here. It's not what's arising. Unless Hitler is in your living room, please let me know. But I don't have a final answer for that. No one does. And when the me drops, those questions don't even arise. And it's again, like I shared at the beginning, that there's not natural service or compassion or helping others or trying to make the world a better place, so to speak. It's not coming from the sense of there's really another out there, because there's not. There's not two. Non-duality means not two. And the reason why I say unconditional love is because it's seen when there is no person. There's no other way to label this but unconditional, because it has no ropes. It has no rule books. This is not a religious or spiritual message, folks. This is not. This goes against the grain of everything we were taught, that this is real, that the past actually happened, that the future is coming. Those are mind projections. And I'm not saying that those things are okay. There is totally preferences here. There's no one here rooting for war or rooting for or whatever. No, it's just seeing that obvious. There is only this. And it is a mystery that will never be known by the mind. Only the heart of intuition can reconcile this, so to speak. And all of that just silences out. It irons out. Because time's an appearance.
Awesome. I'm going to read another question or comment. Let me check. This is from Lucilla, YouTube. Hello, Anna. Lovely to see you. You just mentioned self-love. If the self-love dissolves, is it self-love or appreciation is the first one?
You could call it either what you want. I knew someone was going to ask that. I had an itch about that. Yeah, this self-love. It's just a natural respect. It's a natural bhakti. It's a natural devotion. You know, there's no one who bullies themselves or others anymore, or hates on their bodies, or hates on others, or diminishes themselves. There's just a natural respect and veneration for this. Yeah, you can call it appreciation, sure. They're just words, yeah. Natural respect, sure. But you could say when there's a me there, it's trying to love itself. It's trying really hard to learn respect. Yeah.
Yeah, and the second one is, it's just, from the same person, Lucilla, or that's an expression of just love arising for no one. So just being away.
Sure. Sure. Whatever floats your boat, yeah.
There is a comment here from Randall. Beautiful, spontaneous, radical authenticity, oscillations of equilibrium. Love this. There is laughter here from Ariana. Yeah. Reza is asking, there is a question. Are you vegan?
No.
Just now.
No. Get out your guns, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not vegan. In the story of Anna, there was trying to work on diets and do all these things to purify and reach higher states of consciousness. And my immune system apparently went to shit through all of that. Because this body, this character, that just doesn't set well, so to speak. So diet says nothing about you. Again, this is inclusive. No in-group or out-group. No right or wrong way to eat. Yeah.
Okay, another question. I'm just going to check. Yeah, we have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to read all those comments which are here. What is your thought of those teachers who say awareness is a dream? Tony Parsons and Jim Newman.
Yeah, the awareness, because there's something vigilant, something micromanaging through the eyes. Yeah. I'm awareness. I am pure consciousness. But consciousness and awareness, yeah, it's knowledge. I'm aware of this. It's a sense of knowledge. Now, there's obviously a seeing. I'm just not going to call it awareness or consciousness, but consciousness and awareness is a huge buzzword on the spiritual path, right? Oh, I'm consciousness. I'm conscious. Are you conscious? You're totally unconscious right now, man. And then we're in these in groups and out groups, and we can have higher consciousness, or I was aware, I wasn't aware, and it's just a word. It's just a word. And then someone's trying to reach a purified awareness or purified consciousness, which is really just, it's really just the me, its own spectrum, so to speak, like self-inquiry, right? You're hovering. It's more of a detachment kind of a thing. To me, it's more about knowing something. There's a seeing. It's not personal. I wouldn't call it conscious or awareness. But it is just a label, so I'm not going to say it's right or wrong either. It's not who you are.
Lovely. There is a message here. I guess this is from Leonard. Big thanks, Anna. Thanks a lot, Luchana and Emerson. This is really amazing. Just utter perfection. Thanks, Leonard. Oh, I just want to share that it's just lovely. Lovely is your expression, or this expression, or everything. All these birds around you. And
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Another comment here. Let me check. Would you call what we are timelessness?
Yeah, but it's appearing as time simultaneously. So that's why with a lot of non-dual teachings, which this isn't a teaching, there can be a detachment or renunciation of I should just be in the timeless, or I should ignore time and form. And that's not it. I mean, this is so close. It's closer than intimacy. It's your very breath. Form is formlessness. The face you see in the mirror is the great mystery appearing as a face. Oh, yeah. So it's both simultaneously.
Please, more Zoom meetings. This was great. This is from Eugene. Thanks, Eugene. We love it.
Thanks, Eugene.
As well. There is a suggestion here. Can you do? Oh no, this is a question and suggestion from John. Can you do a 100 question interview with Emerson?
Who's the question for?
Can you do a 100 question interview with Emerson?
Is the question for this though? I'm confused.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, yeah. Can you do? Yeah, this
is 100 questions. It sounds fun.
This is a suggestion.
It's like Jim Newman's interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thanks, yeah. I was a little confused.
Yeah. So this is yes.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah.
Everyone, unmute yourself and say bye.
Thanks,
Emerson,
everyone.
You show
Thank
yourself.
you, Anna.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
So,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care all.
It's lovely to meet you like this. Thank you so much. Anna,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Luchana.
Mm.
Emerson, everyone, thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
We'll do that 100 interview.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah. Yeah. And quotes as well.
Oh, quotes. Thank you. Bye bye.